Okay, so there are 7 different prompts, and you're gonna notice it goes from, like, in the beginning, it's talking about what your limiting beliefs are, okay? So it's like writing those down, figuring out what they are, and it's gonna feel weird, and at the end, we're gonna turn them around. So the first thing that I want you to write, or if you're, like, somewhere that you can't write, you can think about it, but I recommend writing them down. But I want you to write, "I am incapable or unworthy of blank." Write down the things that you believe it gives me like a description. Write down the things you believe you are unworthy or incapable of achieving. Um, you will uncover your most obvious limiting beliefs. You're making a limiting beliefs list, basically. When you begin to search your mind for the answers to what is holding you back, you will find out that maybe you haven't started towards that promotion because you're afraid you'll fail. Or maybe you haven't talk to that person because you don't think they'd be interested. The first step to removing your limiting belief is to become aware of them. So write down, I'm incapable or unworthy of blank. And put done in the chat when you're done, please, so I know to move forward.
Sometimes on this journey, I get lost in my mistakes. What looks to me like weakness is a canvas for your strength. And my story isn't over, my story's just begun. And failure won't define me, 'cause that's what my Father does. Yeah, failure won't define me, 'cause that's what my Father does. Lay your burdens down here in the Father's house. Check your shame at the door, 'cause it ain't welcome anymore.
Done in the chat when you're done. I am incapable or unworthy of blank.
Arrival's not the end game, the journey's where you are. You never wanted perfect, you just wanted my heart. And the story isn't over if the story isn't good. Failure's never final when the Father's in the room. And failure's never final when the Father's in the room.
I'm gonna give you guys like one more minute and then we're gonna move on. Probably hurts. These are probably gonna hurt. They're not gonna feel good. I'm just gonna warn you. It's not gonna feel fun doing these first ones. The first 2 are the hardest, just so you know, I think. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. All right. I believe I am incapable because blank. It says this journal prompt is designed to dig immensely deep into your reasons for believing your shortcomings. It'll force you to stare your fears straight in the face. This is one of the most uncomfortable self-limiting belief questions. Although this can be a painful process, it is also necessary. You may find out that the things you believe are ridiculous, and you have simply made them up in your head. You may find out that the things you're believing are nowhere near true. You may uncover a past experience that has set this belief in your mind. So, I believe I am incapable because blank.
Prodigals come home, the helpless find hope. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Prison doors swing wide, the dead come to life. Love is on the move when the Father's in the room. Miracles take place, the cynical fight back.
Put done in the chat when you're done, please. Is this like hitting anyone like deep down in the gut? Man, I knew this was going to be rough. Like I was fully aware. But it's just like when you think of these things, it's like, why do I think these things? Anyone else, like put a 1 in the chat if you're like, as you're writing this out, you're like, why does my brain work this way? And it's like I'm finding out things that are still with me from like middle school. Like for me, I've always struggled with feeling like an outsider and like I'm never good enough to be like the good ones. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I've never been like good enough to really be like popular. That was something I struggled with. I was like there, but not. Right. And like that's how I feel with this business. I'm like good enough to be there, but like I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm in that like in between stage. And like another thing is like my parents were horrible with money, always. Always. They've always taught me to spend every single penny that they've ever earned. And that's how I've been. And that's something that I've struggled with is the more money I make, the more money I'm going to spend. And I'm terrified of that. I'm terrified of making a ton and spending a ton and having nothing to show with it and not impacting the world at all. So it's hard to fit like something I wrote, like I've never felt good enough. Has anyone else like put a 2 in the chat if you're like, I've never felt good enough or you've never felt worthy? Anyone? It's hard. It's hard to, and it's like you look at yourself because like for me, when I'm writing these things, I'm like, I feel like I'm not good enough and not worthy. But I know deep down in my heart that God gave me this promise. Right? Like you're there and like you know that God like brought this to you and he brought you this blessing, but you're still like, I don't know. I don't feel like I can, or I don't feel like I'm worthy, or like who am I to feel like I can earn this much money or do this or do that? It's a hard thing. So, okay. The next one is if I believed I was capable of anything, I could blank. Okay. The description says, here we start to take a positive turn. When you have identified what your beliefs are and why you think that way, it's time to look in the opposite direction. Begin to visualize what your life would be like if you believed you could truly achieve your goals and dreams. Who would you be? How would you act? What lifestyle choices would you make that are different than the ones you make now? Imagine that your life is the way you want it to be and prompt your brain into believing that this is possible for you. Get as detailed as possible, okay? If I believed I was capable of anything, I could blank. Is it a rank? Is it an amount of money? Is it where you would live? Is it an amount you would give? Is it something you would do? Right? One of my things is I would get a dang massage every single month. Okay. I don't know why that's a thing. I was talking to someone and I said, when I go triple, I'm getting me a massage every month. And they're like, you realize that's like $50, right? Like you need to go triple to get yourself that. I don't know. That's one of my things. But if you believed you were capable of anything, not like, oh, if I believed I was capable of my next goal. No, no, no. If you believed you were capable of anything, like I want you to imagine that you're sitting with God and God's like, you can have whatever you want. Whatever your heart desires, you can have. Anything at all. What would it be? What would your life look like?
I've carried a burden for too long on my. I wasn't created to bury it alone.
Put done in the chat when you're done, please.
You saw my condition, had a plan from the start. Your son for redemption, the price for my heart. And I don't have a context for that kind of love. I don't understand, I can't comprehend. All I know is I need you. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again and again and again.
One more minute with this one.
My heart is beating your sight long before my first breath, running into your arms is running to life from death, and I feel this rush deep in my chest. Your mercy.
Okay. The next thing I want you to write is I can build my belief in myself by blank. It says, when you finish this prompt, you will outline all of the ways you can strengthen your personal beliefs and self-esteem. Make a list of the reasons why you are capable of achieving the things you want, the ways you can better yourself to be more likely to manifest your goals. So what are the things that you know deep down inside you're good at? Why do you deserve those things? Why are you able and capable and worthy of the things that you want? Write them all out. Okay. Why or what are ways that you can remind yourself how dang special you are, how worthy you are, how able you are? Okay. All the ways that you can build your belief in yourself. Put done in the chat when you're done, please.
I'm holding on to faith, 'cause I know you'll make a way. I don't always understand
I'll give you guys like another minute or two. Can you guys hear the music or no? Okay. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. This one's very similar to the one before. So the last one was about how you can build your belief in yourself. But right now I want you to write, it says, reasons why I am worthy of my dreams are. So it says, overcoming self-limiting beliefs is mostly changing your mind and shifting your perspective. Begin to focus on all the reasons why you do deserve to have the life you want. You will see yourself in a more positive light, and it'll help you to express gratitude towards the things you have and allowing you to attract more. Let me know when you're done, please.
Nothing I want that love doesn't offer. Nothing I've done that your grace won't cover. It's not over till you say so. You are faithful, God, you're faithful. The cross is all the confidence I need. Your love won't give up on me. You never make a promise you don't keep. Your love won't give up on me. Calling me back to the place where I started.
I'll give you guys another minute.
It's not over till you say so. You are faithful, God, you're faithful. The cross is all the confidence I need. Your love won't give up on me.
Okay, 2 more. And the last one's pretty simple, I think. So the next one is by chasing my dreams, I will become blank. So it says for more inspiration and helping you shrink the list of your limiting beliefs, you can focus on the ways that you will change internally as a result of chasing your goals. It's not always about the end goal as much as it is about who we become in the process. Think of the things you'll learn, the confidence you'll cultivate, the people you'll attract, the lives you'll change. Having extra motivation will inspire you to see yourself in a new light. So, what are other things that are going to happen in your life by chasing your dreams? Who will you become? Are you going to be more confident? Are you going to be more happy? Are you going to be more inspirational? Are you going to change lives? Are you going to give back? What is going to happen by you going after the things that are scaring you? You know what I'm saying? So like if you're deep down inside, you're like, God's told me I'm going to be an ambassador diamond one day, but I'm terrified of it. Anyone? Put a 3, I don't know, number on. Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, I feel like I've known since the day I started that one day I'd be an ambassador diamond. Anyone else feel that? That God's like, yep, you will be an ambassador one day. But it terrifies you. So who are you going to become by going after ambassador, even though it terrifies you? What lives are you going to change? What's going to happen? What is your life going to look like as you become that ambassador, as you're working towards those dreams that terrify you?
You don't answer all my questions, but you hear me when I speak. You don't keep my heart from breaking, but when it does, you weep with me. You're so close that I can feel you when I've lost the words to pray. And though my eyes have never seen you, I've seen enough to say I know that you are good. I know that you are kind. I know that you are so much more than what I leave behind. I know that
I'm gonna give you guys one more minute on this one, and then we're gonna do our last one.
I know that I am safe, 'cause even in the fire, to live is Christ, to die is gain. I know that you are good. I don't understand the sorrow, but you're calm within
A couple of you
the
asked
storm.
privately for the like playlist. I just put the link in the chat. It's just my like journaling playlist,
Don't carry it alone.
but it should be public, I think, so anyone can see it.
You're still close when I can't feel you.
Okay.
I don't have to.
The last one that I want you to write is I will no longer believe that blank. So it says when you write down the things that you'll no longer tolerate in your life, you'll automatically become more vigilant about them. Write down the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that no longer suit your new dream life. Allow yourself to see in writing the beliefs that are no longer a part of who you are. Soon you will no longer have these thoughts and you'll believe the opposite, causing you to live your dream life. Okay. So, what are the things in the beginning that you thought? So, for me, I've always thought I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't good enough, that I wouldn't be good with my money. What are those things that you're like, you know what? I'm not thinking them anymore. I'm not allowing myself to believe that. What are those things? Write them all out. I don't care if this takes you an hour. What are the things that are no longer serving you? The things that you're like, this is not good to believe this. This is not helping anything. Write down all of the things that you're like, I'm done believing this. Because deep down, you know they're not true, right? Like you might feel like one of your limiting beliefs was, for me, the first thing I wrote was, when it says I'm incapable of or unworthy of, the first thing I wrote was promoting to triple. Okay. Now I know everyone that's on my team on here wants to smack me every time I say that, but it's one of the things that I've struggled with. However, deep down, I know that's not true. I know I'll promote to triple. I don't know when, but I know I will. But that's something that's in my brain all the time. Like, can I actually do it? Anyone else, like for your next promotion, you're like, can I actually like go there? Like, can I actually do that? That's something that I struggle with. However, I know deep down it's not true. So what are the things that you're choosing not to believe anymore? Okay. What are those things?
And though my eyes have never seen you, I've seen enough to say I know that you are good. I know that you are kind. I know that you are so much more than what I leave behind. I know that I am loved. I know that I am safe. 'Cause even in the fire, to live is Christ, to die is gain. I know that you are good. You are good. I know on my darkest days, from my deepest pain, through it all, my heart will choose to sing your praise. On my darkest day, from my deepest pain.
And if you want to go an extra step, what I'm doing after I wrote down all the things that it said I will no longer believe that, I wrote because it's not true. And I'm going to rewrite them into positive statements. So one of them was I'm unable to promote to triple. I'm going to rewrite that into I am promoting to triple. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you feel like going that extra step, flip them into positive affirmations about what's currently happening.
Through it all, my heart will choose to sing your praise. On my darkest day, in my deepest pain, through it you would grow,
So I hope that was helpful for you. I want to know, put in the chat, like, did you uncover something? Like, did you realize a limiting belief that you didn't even realize you had before? Let me know in the chat because I want to know. And I said it earlier, like, I was scrolling through Pinterest last night when I couldn't sleep and this just like popped up. And I felt like God was telling me that I had to do it with you guys. Like, I didn't even know who it was for. I don't know if it was for me. I don't know if it was for a random person that was going to hop on, but I just felt like God was like, you need to go on Zoom and work through these questions with people. And I want you to commit to yourself that when you start thinking those negative thoughts, right? Does anyone want to share some of your limiting beliefs in the chat? Like, what are things that you didn't believe? I shared a couple of mine already. It says when I wrote in the beginning, I'm incapable or unworthy of promoting a triple, being a strong leader, being a good enough leader, being smart with my money, making a lot of money, and just being good enough, period. Okay. Those were my limiting beliefs. What I want you to do is next time you think of those things, what I try to do every time I think of a negative thought, I ask myself, do I know without a shadow of a doubt it's true? Do I know, like when you're thinking to yourself, I don't know who's all on here, but if you're thinking like your next goal is diamond, okay? And you think there's no way I'll ever go diamond. Do you know that with 100% like confidence, do you know that without a shadow of a doubt that it's true that you'll never go diamond? The answer is no. Do you know for sure that you're not good enough? Do you know for sure you're not worthy? Do you know for sure you're going to be bad with your money? Do you know for sure that you're not a good leader, that you're not young enough, old enough, pretty enough, skinny enough, whatever it is? Because the thing is, you don't know. You don't know that you can't do it. You don't know that God isn't calling you here for sure. Right? So if you're going to err on a side of you don't know for sure, why don't you err on the positive side, right? If you have to go, well, I don't know for sure that I can go triple, but I also don't know for sure that I can't. Why don't you choose to believe the positive one, right? Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. If you don't know I don't know if I can lead a strong team. Anyone feel like that? Put a 0 in the chat if you're like, I don't know if I'll ever have a strong team that's working. Do you know that you for sure won't? No. If you don't know if you're confident enough, do you know for sure you're not? No. Well, I don't know if God wants me to promote. Do you know for sure he doesn't? No. I don't know if I'm going to lose my rank. Do you know for sure that you're going to? No. You don't know for sure that all of your limiting beliefs are true, right? You don't know for sure. So why are you trusting that? Why are you letting that stop you from your dream life? Right? Because if I'm going to choose to believe something that I don't know for sure, I'm going to choose the one that serves me. So when you're going through the day and things pop up and you don't know if you can tackle this next goal, you don't know if you're worthy of it, you don't know if you can do it, why don't you just try? Stop believing the lies and start believing in yourself. Because something that I hear on Zooms all the time and that I always tell my team, and hear me when I say this, if I could just shake everyone and make you believe this next statement, I would. The dream on your heart is there for a reason. Okay. The dream on your heart was given to you by God because he's like, hey girl, I got a plan for you for this. Right? When you started, if you've promoted, when I started, there was no chance that I thought I'd ever go double, ever. But I had a dream and I did. That dream on your heart is there because God has a plan to fulfill it. Here's the thing. You have to meet him halfway. You're here with your dream. God's here. He gave you the dream. Now God's here waiting you. He's like, I gave you your dream. Are you going to work for it? Because if you meet me halfway, you get all the blessings and then guess what? We both go. But if you're sitting here wondering, is this what God wants from me? I don't know. I don't want to go for it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm confident enough. I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think my team's ready. I don't think I'm whatever. If you don't go for it, you'll never get there. You'll never make it to the other side because you're stopping yourself. Because you're telling yourself you can't. Because you're telling yourself, oh, I'm not going to be good with my money, so I don't want to make it. I'm terrified. I don't know if I can go diamond. So like, I can't even look at a diamond chart. I'm terrified. Because the next rank is always going to be scary. Your next goal is always going to be scary. Your next dream is always going to feel impossible until it's done. I promise you, for those of us that have been on here and that have promoted to diamond and up, we've never looked at a rank and been like, diamond, it's so done. Double, it's so easy. That's never going to happen. You're never going to look at your rank, your next goal, and be like, we so got this. Like, I don't even have to do anything. Right? Like, it's just going to happen. No, you have to have that faith. You have to believe in the gaps, right? I don't remember, I think it's Kelsey Thorne who always says, but she's like, you go from mountain to mountaintop through valleys, right? How many of you have like killed it in your business and like fell off the face of the earth and you're like, what the heck just happened? And then you go back up, right? I went double and then I dropped down to executive and then I went double again. And then I got my husband to double. And then my husband dropped down to executive. That doesn't mean that I'm not meant to be here. That doesn't mean that we're not worthy of our dreams. That doesn't mean we're not worthy of the things that we're wanting and able to have them. It just means that God's growing you through this valley. But you have to push through the valley to get to the next mountaintop, because your journey is never going to look like this and just going straight up. So you have to believe during those times where it doesn't feel possible. So I challenge you today, when you start thinking those negative thoughts, you start thinking those limiting beliefs that you can't do it, that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not whoever. I challenge you to believe that you are. I challenge you to take 5 seconds of belief and trust that that dream is on your heart for a reason. Trust that God brought you here on this Zoom or watching this recording because he wants you to believe in yourself. Someone said in the chat that they were just scrolling through Facebook and my post popped up. That's a God thing. If you happen to check your messenger or you happen to find this video or someone happened to send you this, that's a God thing. He wants you to believe in yourself. He put all of these dreams and these desires and these abilities in your heart for a reason. But if you give up on yourself, all of that stuff he has given you is now wasted. Right? It's like if you gave someone a gift, but they never opened it. You're like, what the heck? I just gave you that. Like, you don't even want to look? You don't even want to see if you want it? Wouldn't you be mad if you gave someone a Christmas present, they didn't even open it? You'd be like, spent all this time and effort on it. Like, I wrapped it all pretty. I gave you a nice little bow. I thought about it. I thought you'd love this. But you don't even want to open it. God gave you this business. God gave you the dreams in your heart because he wants you to hit them. He wants you to do that. He wants you to prove to others that it can be done. He wants you to change lives along the way. But if you don't believe in it, you're not going to get it. Okay? He gave this to you. He gave you the dreams. He gave you the desires. He gave you the goals because he has a plan for you, because he has a way for you to make it happen. He already knows the people that are going to be on your Ambassador Diamond chart. Or if you're looking at Ruby, he knows people that are on your Ruby chart. He knows where every single customer is going to come from. He knows exactly what second it's going to come together. In my head, when I look at promotions, I'm like, it's already done. I don't know the end date. I don't know when triple's going to happen, but I know it will. And I'm going to work every day as if it's today. Work every day as if today's the day that it all comes together. Okay. So I hope you guys have an awesome Thursday. I don't know what day it is. I think it's Thursday. We'll go with it. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.